Today we're going to do something a little bit different on the channel. Normally we're talking about crypto market, the news, stock market, and the economy. But today I wanted to join the chief commercial officer of one of the leading crypto firms in the entire industry. They have over 750,000 users, over $1 billion processed on their platform. And we're going to talk with the chief commercial officer of Choise.com. Symbol is CHO. And thank you, Andre, for joining us today. How are you?
Well, good. Excited to be with you, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Yes, we've been waiting for a while on this interview. We've been going back and forth, talking for months now, but let's just really get straight to the point. So recently, you guys have launched a very successful and a massive NTO project. Can you tell me a little bit about how this idea came into being? I know that you guys have been building your company Choise.com over the last 5 years or so, and has grown that tremendously. But now you are entering an entire new space really with this NTO project. So can you tell me just a little bit about what an NTO project is and just a little bit about Choise.com in general?
Yeah, sure. Glad to do that. So let me highlight that whatever we do out here at Choice.com, we're always trying to solve for the um, most prominent issue at hand, something that seems to us as having a high value add potential and high potential for growth. And that's exactly what we've been solving for here. We've been tinkering with that idea for quite a while now. And we've realized that, well, finding ourselves in those shoes effectively, as there are quite a bit of crypto companies, crypto projects out there that have managed to have a great start sometime back in the past. They probably went through a terrific seed round, probably private, maybe even backed by some strong institutional players. But the changing market landscape and that whole market downturn, the shenanigans that are happening out there, well, obviously affecting folks and affecting projects as well. A lot of those projects are finding themselves in a situation where they've got a terrific, well, from the point of view of potential, token, sometimes listed on very exciting secondary market venues. But those tokens are obviously hard to leverage as an asset in terms of fundraising or in terms of distributing that to the wider public. And
Right, especially with everything that's gone on in 2022, the fear
oh
in
yeah,
retail consumers, even businesses, VCs, and everything like that. Yeah, definitely.
that's right. That's right. And we see that firsthand. We see the changing landscape. Whereas earlier in this year, say first half of this year, in order to close a VCD, we would hop on a Zoom call with them. We would go through a pitch. We would make them fill in a SAFT agreement. And that's it. We're going our merry ways. We're all good. They're sitting, waiting for those tokens to be released. We're happy to having secured the financing that allows us to develop further. And everyone seems to be happy, right? Well, obviously, you've heard all the news. You've heard all the testimonials in the market. A lot of those guys have confessed to having had poor practices when it comes to due diligence or any type of thing like this. So, look, I mean, stuff happens on the market, right? And you got to be prepared for that. You gotta have a war chest to face all the challenges that are out there on the market, and you got to be able to finance your growth, finance your development. Yes, it's a bear market, but guess what, you guys? The best the best time on the market to build and to develop, to lay the foundation for what will become an engine for that next phase of the cycle is right here, right in the middle of everyone being scared. Everyone's trying to downsize. Everyone, just hiding behind the rug, right? So
Right.
that's the
It's
best
really
way
the
to invest.
companies that survive this downturn that are able to weather the storm. And ultimately, those are the ones that you want to invest in, anyways, in my opinion, because those are the ones that during the hard times, they hunker down. They can really take advantage of the opportunities that are currently available. It's not always going to be money flying around. Has unlimited funding. That's the easy time. Now it's, the time where you are able to determine which projects were those that were just not really focused on development, just trying to pump up tokens, which we see so many of.
Oh yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, that's right, totally. So we've got that potential for growth. We've got that best
Right.
time to build. and we've got a shortage of funds on the market, right? What else do we find out there? Well, we find that NFTs, for all the hype that they've generated in the past, well, obviously that market is not what it used to be back in the day. The hype is
No.
gone. Folks are trying to figure out some utilities for NFTs. There are some exciting projects trying to leverage that technology in the ticketing space, in a B2B transaction space, in and reconciliations type of environments. And that's all good. And we do believe that those use cases and then those utilities will be out there. But when it comes to the way we look at NFTs, we identify that there's certainly that inherent unique mechanics of scarcity, coupled with that functionality to wrap things inside an NFT, right? To launch them inside an NFT and to use NFT essentially as a vehicle to deliver certain things. And in our case, that would be our own CHO tokens. Remember,
Right.
when we were going through our public raise earlier this year, earlier in the spring, we had a small scale test run of that type of an offering. We had a Binance Smart Chain NFT powered stage of our community sale, and that was sold out in a matter of literally hours. And
Right.
that was very exciting. Yes, we counted on the success of that thing. But that was a pure test run. We were pioneering that thing, so it was like kind of scary, right? What would happen out of it? We totally
Right.
realized that the use case was proven. Folks are ready. Folks are very receptive. The community was very engaged with that. So we realized that now is the right time to try and leverage that long hyped over technology such as NFTs and to apply it to the task at hand, which is try to show that the crypto market isn't dead. The winter is the best time to build, and you got to be inventive in those times, right? You got to be really relentless in your passion for experimentation. And that's exactly what we're doing here, right? So what we're doing with this NTO, so NFT token offering, is we do something that a number of our existing partners and future partners have already asked us about. They've asked us to use our potential, to use our existing technology, i.e., centralized and decentralized launchpad that we've got our own app,
Right.
our great community that are of great support to us, and they stand by us, they stand by our tokens, they stand by our ideas, and try to implement that for their needs right now, right? So what we thought of is, why won't we cross-pollinate? Why won't we merge NFT and their potential of, well, scarcity mechanics, ability to wrap things inside of them, and apply it to the token offering space? That's exactly what we're doing with this NTO, right? What we're doing is the stage by stage secondary market offering of digital asset. In this case, it's our own CHO token wrapped into an NFT. Now, that NFT will be coupled with a Chobe. That's an art representation of our NFTs. Those Chobes are obviously infinitely customizable. They've got their own names.
Right.
They're fluffy, funny looking little creatures. But what's important is what's inside of that NFT. And that NFT is just like a treasure trove. It contains a certain amount of CHO tokens.
Got it. So does each, after doing a bit of research, it looked on my
Mhm.
end that each NFT, each Chobe consisted of about 1,000 CHO tokens. Are there different
That's correct.
levels to it, or does each one contain 1,000? And also from like a user's perspective and an investor's perspective, the whole value behind these NFTs versus all the other just pictures and JPEGs that people see is that these are specifically tied to the token value in choice.com and the number of users on the platform. Because if CHO consistently, and continues to grow, then if each NFT holds this many, 1,000 CHO tokens, automatically that value goes higher. It continues to go up as well. Is that correct with that?
Yeah, that's correct. So look, the way that that entire thing is structured, right? We've envisioned 6 stages. And yes, each NFT that is represented by a Chobe, that funny
Hmm.
looking character, contains 1,000 CHOs.
Got it.
Now, this 1,000 CHOs are always in there, right? What changes is the price of minting, effectively a price of that NFT. Now, at the
Right.
first stage, we're selling them at $150 per NFT.
Right.
And the price goes up, and each stage would see an increment of $50, increasing the value of that, increasing the price of that NFT, right? So effectively, the earlier you get in, the higher discount to the current market price you get. But
Right.
that's not just it, right? It's also about making sure that the folks that are getting access to those CHO tokens wrapped into NFTs have got a multitude of exciting possibilities, because obviously all of those tokens wrapped inside an NFT got certain lockup and vesting schedule. Now, most of those tokens would be on the same footing, right? According to the same rules as those tokens that were purchased from us by our institutional investors, the VCs, funds, family offices, and so on. So that would be
Yeah.
12 months of lockup, 24 month of vesting. Now
Hmm.
that doesn't sound so exciting when you
Right.
start thinking when you start thinking about it, because you know that this is where the rarity mechanics kicks in. This is where it's all about game of chances, right? Because about 75% of the supply of those CHO tokens would be locked and vested according to the aforementioned rules. Now, there are a bunch of those NFTs containing unique and randomly matched vesting and unlock schedules. Now there are tokens out. No, there are NFTs out there containing CHO tokens with zero lock-in schedule, right? So you
Mm.
effectively can get your hands on those tokens on the day you purchase them. Wow, great. Now, how good
That's
can
like
it get?
instantly getting your money back
Exactly, exactly. It's
for
like
that NFT.
exactly. It's like buying a token, which is now priced at roughly 90 cents per CHO at effectively 80% discount.
Right.
Now, it doesn't get any more privileged in terms of access. It doesn't get any more equal footing with the likes of institutional investors than that, right?
Right.
But it actually does get better than that, because obviously inherent features of those NFTs are not just the fact that they're coupled with that beautiful looking character up there, is that they also contain a number of bonuses and perks that we attach to each, and there are a whole bunch of them. Just to give you an idea of scale, imagine
Mm.
this: we're allocating about 3.5 million US dollars worth of value in bonuses and perks value. Now, the bonuses can be quote unquote monetary. Those
Right.
denominated in dollars and paid out in dollars or it's equivalents, or and they go and they might as well be something super special, such as Tesla car, a Lamborghini Spider at certain stage of the NFT token offering. So it's all about marrying this rarity of access, scarcity with randomized mechanics, right? So it's all about um, creating that vivid environment in which you get to live the thrill of uh, of getting your hands on effectively over collateralized NFT, because no matter what you do, no matter if you come at the
Right.
first stage or at the potentially sixth stage, if that actually does happen, you get
Right.
a token that is performed very nicely, that is backed by over 25 institutional investors, that has made over 35x to the price of the initial seed round, it made over 7x to the price of public round, and it's performing very nicely from the point of view of the price. It's a lot of folks out there called CHO, and the closest equivalent to stablecoin that is not called stablecoin because it's pretty indeed stable. There is no there isn't much volatility going on there, right? So
Right.
you get your hands on that token at a discounted price no matter what. But then you get to have so much more than that.
Yeah, so
Bonuses, perks, you name it.
longer term with
Mhm.
this, I see, obviously there's a lot of utility with the bonuses, the perks, the all the different mechanisms you have in place, but with the tokens, after that lockup period expires, I've seen that there is a secondary market for these where people can buy and resell, and you do have a secondary market. What's the benefit of someone using that secondary market, for example, on one of the NFTs where the token vesting period is zero, where they get their tokens instantly? The buyer buys one of the NFTs, they're able to, get those tokens instantly, do whatever they want with them. What's the benefit for someone to come along later and say, okay, I want to buy this Chobe NFT? Is there any benefit there? What exactly would compel someone to do that?
Oh, of course, of course. Well, you're right to point out the that exciting dynamics with the secondary market,
Right,
um, because it's applied in two levels, right? There's a secondary market, already existing secondary market for CHO tokens. It's already out there. You can trade it on a
right,
number of exchanges, decentralized and centralized alike. And there's quite a decent liquidity to it. There's also a secondary market for those NFTs, as you rightly point out, right? And
right,
obviously, because those NFTs contain a random number of characteristics, and they're coupled with random perks. They're giving you access to a whole bunch of um, well, they're giving you a priority access to a whole bunch of other very exclusive kind of benefits. It still makes sense to follow through with that offering from stage one to potentially stage six. Now, bear in mind, there isn't just a secondary market offering, right? There are certain um, unique features of getting your hands on Chobe NFT that will be with you from the day you get them and until we are here on the market. First of all, um, those folks that will purchase our Chobe NFTs will have lifetime priority access to all of the initial allocations on our future NFT launchpad. And as I said, that's important to you folks because we already got a pipeline of about 10 very exciting projects that want to launch with us. And they will be using pretty much the same mechanics as we do. So it's already existing projects with proven track record and traction. And they want to spread the message. They want to they want to experiment with an NFT token offering on our platform. And those of you that got your hands on that, on our Chobis, will always have a priority access. You will have front seats to all of those exciting secondary market offerings that we will conduct on our platform. Right
so this is
now,
more of like not just for choice. This seems like it's a platform that you're trying to
oh
drive
yeah,
to other top 20, top 50, market cap projects out there that are looking to add some more utility to their projects. Is that right?
it's right, but it's actually even more than that. It's not just
Okay.
about the current state of top 20, top 50, top 100, top 500 of coin market cap. It's about being it's about having a stake at future setup of that top 50, top
Oh
100, top
yeah,
200.
yeah.
So it's all
Yeah.
about having priority access to the leaders of tomorrow. The kind of picture that I love to quote on that one is trying to look at the top 15 CMC ranking just 5 years ago. There are only
Very
three
different.
projects. Yeah, absolutely. There are no incumbents in that
Changes.
game. Yep, yep.
Right.
You got to ride that wave. And you got to make sure that you diversify your chances and you diversify your exposure. And that's exactly what we enable you to do. Right now, but it's not just that. It is about that priority access to all those future offerings that we hold on our NFT launchpad. But it's also about the fact that those that will purchase those NFTs will have an ability to effectively validate them as an equivalent of apologies, 1,000 USD worth of staking in our DeFi aggregator platform called Choise. That one has already been launched. A lot of retail users and institutions alike are using it in order to get exposure to the DeFi earn opportunities. And it's by all means a very exciting and promising sort of section of the market, right?
Yeah. So speaking of DeFi, earning opportunities, so we've touched on NFTs. I just want to talk a little bit though about Choise.com in general, the platform, some of the offerings, because I'm familiar with it. I've used it, but I know not everyone watching probably has. So some of the basics that I've seen are obviously with Choice.com, they have yield farming, staking, other income generating activities. And you've seen, just like I've seen in 2022 and over the last year, that there's been a lot of concern and a little bit of fear over some of these different platforms. So if you could just explain Choice.com, how they've been able to weather this entire storm in the DeFi space, and some of the potential opportunities for people using the platform, how they can earn income through the different products.
Yeah, that's a very pertinent question indeed.
Yeah.
So look, folks, first of all, let me just give you a little bit of background of how we came around to be, right? When back in the day in 2017, when we started our first product lineup, our first brand called Crypterian, we've garnered the support of our community around the vision of building a very easy to use, intuitive kind of crypto banking solution that will have all of your familiar products such as cards, bank accounts, wire transfers, all powered and coupled and supercharged by crypto. And that's exactly what we've done. And we've done that to the degree where we perfected that product, so that we were able to deliver that to other customers. Just for your reference, obviously. Now you would know that's a Criterion branded Visa card. That's our own Visa card, right? And we're enormously proud and excited about that product. It enabled a higher degree of financial freedom and ability to spend and earn crypto to tens and tens of thousands of individuals across the globe. That's terrific.
Always been, and security aspect in my mind.
That's
security
correct.
Partnership with Visa,
that's
that
correct.
just adds to, in my mind, the security of the platform.
That's right. That's right. So, well, obviously, as a crypto organization touching or engaged with fiat services or TradFi, right? We have had to acquire licenses. We have had to partner up with licensed and approved and vetted kind of partners for the custody of assets. We had to ensure that our processes and our standards are up to are satisfactory to the highest degree, and that they're tippy top in terms of the security, both on technical and sort of system architecture kind of level. So that's all been done, right? And we're enormously proud of the fact that our infrastructure also delivers such payment cards for our partners. Now that's our partner card, right? This is delivered on our infrastructure, but it's under the different brand, and it wouldn't have been possible without us adhering to the strictest safety and prudential standards in terms of handling of digital assets. Right now, that's already been done. But let me give you a little bit of context on the Choice.com and CHO token. When we started off on that journey of being an earn marketplace, a DeFi yield and earn aggregator platform, obviously we had to reach out for a lot of the external expertise on the market. And although we've got quite an acumen on ourselves and we are quite savvy both in CeFi and payments and DeFi, we obviously understood that there are a lot of people out there who are way more knowledgeable than ourselves. And we're happy we've been blessed by having a couple of advisors who have we're in senior positions with some of the organizations well, established a certain reputation on the market. Some of them are already went belly up. Some of them are bankrupt at this point in time. But those individuals, they were a part of those platforms' rapid expansion and growth phase.
Right.
So we are blessed to have an inside knowledge on the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we had to carefully devise our strategy in handling the assets, in crafting the strategies for earn and yield opportunities, having that knowledge in mind, right? In a way, because we're a follower to all those fallout that happened on the market, we have managed to implement those do's and don'ts, right? So we clearly, well, obviously segregate between the firm funds and the customer funds. We diversify our exposure. We've got our own in-house metrics of assessing different yield and earn opportunities on the market. We strictly and rigorously implement that metrics, and we're only allowing those projects and those protocols that have got the highest grades there, even in the risky section. We know we don't want to expose our community to something that might just go under tomorrow, right? So
Right.
those standards, so diversification and capping the exposure to individual sources of risk as the names of the game here.
Right. So, and I've seen that obviously in like your growth model as well. Growing to a million users nearly in just a few years is a
That's right.
very impressive feat. So, just to wrap it up, I think we've covered basically everything I wanted to cover. But to wrap it up, what do you think of the current state of the market? Because we've seen lots of companies, like you said, go belly up. We've seen a lot of DeFi protocols that at one point people thought, were the next big thing. Some of those have failed, some of them have succeeded, but now everyone's looking at the bottom of the market. Some people are saying more firms they're expecting to explode and go belly up in the coming weeks. Others are saying, the worst is really behind us. And a lot of people in my audience, I know, really are wondering from someone in the industry, someone who has experience, someone who talks to major firms, what are you seeing right now with the current state of the market?
Yeah, an excellent question. Um, I do believe that obviously, I mean, you've probably heard it a number of times already that it's a time of great soul searching for the industry at large. And it's not just about the reputation of certain individuals that used to run or be in the C-level positions with certain organizations. It's not just about the technology. It's not just about the use cases. It's about trying to um, experiment audaciously, right? Experiment nonstop. And I do believe that the future belongs, uh, not just that saying goes in certain firms' promotional materials, the future belongs to experimenters. Right? The future belongs to those that are ready to use this time of a downward turn to pick a technology, such as in our case, NFTs, apply it to an ever present constantly present need of projects, organizations, and retail investors, such as, let's say in this case, financing or exciting opportunities for already existing or newly developing tokens, right? And try to um, try to experiment, try to tinker up on the edges, on the fringes, right? Try to use one mechanics from NFTs and apply it to this use case. Use experiment in this kind of way, shape, and form. So be on the lookout for obviously do your own research. That's the best advice that anyone can give you. And be on the lookout for those that are ready and are happy to experiment. Because even if you may not immediately cover the next um, top 3 token on CMC ranking or anything quite like this, you may be able to seize an opportunity that you were exposed to in the early days, right? So it's all about diversification, capping risk exposure to certain
Right.
protocol asset, that type of stuff, and constantly looking for experimenters. Experimenters are those that are getting it done, and experimenters are those that are getting it figured out. So go figure it out. Experiment.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I feel like, a lot of people now is the time, like you said, to be looking into projects. But I really enjoyed having you on today. I'm sure everyone else enjoyed having you here
Likewise.
as well. So thank you so much for joining us, and I hope we speak again soon.
Sure. It's great. Great to speak to you, Michael. Thanks a bunch, everyone.